Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special live stream at the DRMSH live. Uh, um, wah, wah, wah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live stream here at Dr. Heiser's platforms. We have an incredible show tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of stuff that we want to share with you guys. But first, we want to make sure that you let us know where you're watching from. I see Knoxville, Tennessee, Phoenix, Arizona, Maine, Chesterton, Indiana. I see Arvin, California, Leeville, Pennsylvania. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Make sure you leave where you're watching from in the comments section. Also, go ahead on and tag and share this stream. Tag all your friends that will benefit from this stream, and go ahead on and leave your comments in the comment section. We are going to have a Q&A session at the end of this stream, but in the middle we have a special announcement that you do not want to miss. We have Jacksonville, Florida, Pickens, South Carolina. A big up to South Carolina. I used to live in Colombia. We got Queensland, Australia, San Agustin, Florida, Prescott, Arizona, Hamilton, New Jersey, Oceanside, California, KZN, South Africa, New Plymouth, New Zealand, Arkansas, Idaho, Philippines. I saw somebody earlier from Latin America too. Let's see. Come on, keep them coming now. Covington, Georgia. I'm actually in Atlanta, Chris. Let's see. Oklahoma, New Jersey, Minnesota, Salt Lake City, Utah, Alfonso, Illinois, Ole, Pennsylvania, Jamaica. Look at that. Guaguan, Blake. Let's see, Atlanta. That's exactly where I am, James. I am south of Atlanta over here in Fayetteville. So awesome. New South Wales, Australia, Minnesota, Brazil. You got people from Brazil logging in. Go ahead and keep it coming, man. This is amazing, amazing. Marietta, California, Long Island, New York. Come on, man. You guys are fast. Alabama, Bowling Green, Texas. Texas is like zone country. Henderson. All right, guys. Well, this is amazing. My name is Jorge Gil. I am actually the person who was helping Mike for the last 3 or 4 years run his social media and his content creation. And we are blessed that we see that we were able to put in an effort to get to where you guys are. We actually have Dr. Ron Johnson and Mike Chu from Awakening School of Theology joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about that. And I'm just going to give you a couple of pointers and grab you by the hand and tell you where we're going tonight. So just pay attention. So I'm going to read it here from our stream itinerary today, and then you're going to have an idea of what to expect today. Again, we're going to have Q&A. We're going to have a special announcement. We're going to have a lot of juicy stuff for you guys, and this is to keep Dr. Heiser legacy going. Okay, guys? So here, number one, we're going to be talking about the DRMSH community and the future of the community. We got an incredible exclusive content from Dr. Ron Johnson, and we also going to be resurrecting the weekly live streams. Not only live stream, but live streams. For those who are part of the DRMSH community, thank you guys for holding it down, for keeping it together. I know that's one of the things that Dr. Heiser wanted us to keep alive, and we are going to do everything we can, everything that is in our power to make sure that that is the case. Also, we're going to be talking about Awakening School of Theology, and another one of the initiatives that Dr. Heiser started. We're going to talk about the new courses being produced. We're going to be talking to Mike Chu, who is the academic dean of Awakening School of Theology. He's going to give us an inside scoop of what's happening with the courses, and also a course by Dr. Ron Johnson that he can talk about directly to you guys. And then, right stuck in the middle between that and the Q&A, we're going to be doing a special announcement that you do not want to miss. Okay, so Raleigh, North Carolina in the building. I actually used to live about 40 minutes outside of Raleigh in a small town, Clinton. I used to go to Wake Forest a lot. I actually used to go to, I think it was Southeastern Baptist Seminary over there, Arkansas. That's where my sister-in-law went to, used to work. I think she moved to Maryland now. Let's see. Andrew says, miss the Q&As. We all miss the Q&As, and we are going to bring the Q&As back because we are going to continue Dr. Heiser's legacy, guys. Okay, thanks everybody for being here. We're almost 200 watching live. Make sure that you share this stream. Make sure that you continue to comment. Remember, the social media, it's an interesting beast. If you don't feed it, it's not going to let more people know that we are out there. So the main thing you need to do is share this stream, tag your friends, and let them know that we are live. And it's okay if you do it afterwards, right? But if you do it now, it helps us a whole lot more. Okay, so we got Efraín Santiago desde Puerto Rico. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué lo que? Efraín, good to see you here, and thank you for joining. And actually, we have some awesome news about the Awakening School of Theology. In Spanish, it's going to be called Academia Heiser. You can actually go to academiaheiser.com and you can find the Spanish courses there. It's not officially launched, but they're already there. And also, you can go to elmundoinvisible.com where we actually clone Dr. Heiser's DRMSH.com, and it's in Spanish as well. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you Matthew Felty for the thumbs up, for the super chat. And again, all the proceeds for anything that we do here ends up going to the future of DRMSH, all the Heiser legacy, and Drina, who is the president of McLeod right now. Luis Breña, saludos desde Lima, Peru. So thank you for being here too, and everybody who is here. Jessica Duenas, así es. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff, but without further ado, guys, I want you guys to go ahead on and give a round of applause to the two gentlemen that took precious time out of their Sunday evening to be with you guys. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, thank both Dr. Ron Johnson and Mike Chu. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Very good.
Great, Jorge. Good to see you guys.
Well, guys, thank you for being here. This is definitely one of those times where, you know, we're excited. We're still grieving, right? So I actually talked to Drina today, and you know, it's been 6 months since Mike went to the unseen realm to be with our Lord. And we still hurting, but life goes on, and we have a huge mission. He left us with an incredible mission to accomplish, and there are over 200 people on the other side of the screen listening to us. We want to make sure that we honor Mike and ultimately honor our Lord Jesus Christ. And we have a lot of awesome things that we want to be doing here. And I'm going to start with you, Dr. Ron. Let's talk about this initiative. I know this is something that you and Drina kind of talk about. You guys had this amazing idea. You actually proposed this to Drina because you did this already, and is some amazing content that you put together. And now we're actually going to use it exclusively for the DRMSH community because we want to make sure that the DRMSH community stays alive. And this is, for those who don't know what the DRMSH community, I'm going to be showing it on the screen in a little while, but it is a private community that allows us to continue Mike's work. It is a behind a paywall. It's a membership site where you can go. You can sign up for $9.99, or today I'm going to give you the ability to sign for cheaper than that. But you're going to be putting this DCW loaded daily dose of Bible content that we're going to be releasing inside the community, and then you're going to be doing Q&A. Tell us a little bit about this short and theologically loaded videos that you have created. They're going to be featured at the DRMSH community.
Yeah, thanks, Jorge. I've been teaching Bible college for about 20 years or a little more, and I was, in the meantime, then I started teaching in my church as well, and I taught various adult classes. And about 2 years ago, they came to me and said, "What would you like to teach now or next?" And I said, "You know, this is a dream of mine. Ever since I saw on some YouTube a guy drawing on a window, a light board, they call it, for math." My wife teaches 5th grade math, and I thought, boy, that'd work great for theology, right? So I told my church what I'd like to do, and if you'd be willing to help me with the technology, and so what I did was every day we read a portion of the Bible together as a church. Chronologically, I laid out a 2-year reading plan, just weekdays, 5 days a week. Then if they signed up by email, we sent them a video every day that I would produce in my basement with my iPhone. And it would be on a light board, basically, and I would walk through by drawing it, basically, every day's text and explain it. And here's the key, from a divine counsel worldview, big story.
Beautiful.
Of the Bible concept. So it turned out to be about 380 some videos over 2 years, that about 8 to 10 minutes each. They're called Daily Dose of Bible, and we'd send them out every day to the group, and then once a month we had a Q&A. Had a great time. And what we're going to do for the DRSMH community, though, is to make a weekly Q&A, because they obviously, going through the text like this from a divine counsel worldview, causes questions, comments, and that's really where the power of this will be, is to hear each other talk through the divine counsel big story of the Bible. So to be part of this would simply be to be in the community, and you'll be given access daily, 5 days a week, not counting any holidays, to each video, and a reading schedule will be put out as well. And as you keep up with that reading schedule, it's about 3 chapters a day, and you'll get through the entire Bible chronologically within 2 years. So,
guys,
that's the plan.
This is amazing. So, Mike, you remember how Dr. Heiser used to do 2 live streams a week at the DRMSH community? That was where his heart was, to be able to teach. Now, here we fast forward 6 months after his departure to the unseen realm, and the people inside the DRMSH community still faithful, still supporting, even though all they're getting right now are advanced content that is still going to go out in his social media platforms later on. You remember how lively the Q&As were, and now with Dr. Ronn being part of this, and you being also part of the Q&A. So we're doing one Q&A with the Daily Dose of Bible, and it is a DCW focus Bible reading program. Now, Ron, you're super generous to be able to do this inside of the community. Your knowledge and your handling of the DCW material is going to be invaluable for our community, and that's where our community wants to grow. So, Mike, can you tell people, those who did not join the DRMSH community prior to Mike's passing, what kind of dynamics we had inside of there? What's the value of being part of it? And then later on, because I don't want to bug down people on showing them, all the technicalities on how to go in and all of that. I want people to hear it from you on what's the value, what is why people should join, in a sense that we want to make sure that people know that this is, because I already see negative comments, right? And this is going to happen. We have people, I work in, full-time ministry, and people ask me, how are you going to charge for the gospel? I'm like, no, I'm not charging for the gospel. I'll give you the gospel free. Is the specialization of all these other things, and the work that he takes, and the investment that it costs to create all these resources. And for people that never done ministry, don't understand that it takes income to do ministry, right? And I want people to know that this is something that is going to have a return on investment, but the investment is not physical, it's spiritual, is knowledge, is growth. So go ahead and share it with Mike's community on the other side of the screen. Why do you think that the DRMSH community is an important aspect of the whole Miglot, or what is going to be this new Heiser initiative?
I think part of the advantage of the DRMSH community, especially when Mike was around and why he wanted to start it was a concern that his material was spread out throughout so many different platforms, on social media, on websites. And the issue ultimately is that people had questions, but it was very hard to pull all of that material from all the different platforms, different sites, into a centralized location, into a place where it's reliable, it actually is vetted, it was actually from Mike or from others that Mike had trusted. And that was part of the advantage. And when Mike was around, I mean, it was amazing in the fact that he was still going through chemo and radiation treatments and later back on chemo. And yet he still made time to actually log on and do the Q&As. There have been Q&As where he had just gotten out of doing the injections, the routine of chemo of that week. And I remember one time we asked him even some more personal questions of like, how are you actually doing? And he answered very honestly. I mean, he told us, plainly, I feel great right now, but I know the routine of chemo is in about 2-3 days, I'm going to be wiped out. And usually when that happens, it's on the Friday QA. Yeah. And yet he would still come on. And so I think that was part of the connection that we had in that community was we got to see a side of Mike. Yes, we saw the scholar. We also saw the vulnerability. We saw the humanity of who he was. And that in spite of the weaknesses, he still pushed through. And he still cared about the people who had questions and wanted to be a resource for them, no matter how tired he was. And so those were kind of the memories that I had from the QAs. That was part of the value for me. Just being able to see Mike, because I got to work with him at the Awakening School doing QAs for the classes before. Mm-hmm. And just to be able to hear him again, especially in the midst of when COVID was locking us down, that we couldn't interact with many people, and yet there's Mike. I actually can hear him. I can see him again. And that was just a very precious time.
That's pretty awesome, man. So thank you for that. And also, the community that is built around all Mike's teachings. Inside the community, you can find resources, early access to the videos that are going to come out on social media. We're going to have this Daily Dose of Bible series. And this Daily Dose of Bible are going to go on for a very long time because Ron has produced a ton of content. This is not something that you're going to join the community and within 3 months you're going to run out of new content. Now, this is something that we're going to be rolling out. The Q&As are going to be, I think, the bread and butter. This is one of the things that I was telling you guys earlier, that for us to do this, the number one goal should always be that we can instruct people on theology and good thinking and good Bible study and good edifying, the good practical tips on how we're going to live our faith. And that's what the community does. Is a lot of like-minded people coming together and doing what God has called us to do, to be a community. I know that sometimes when we talk about the unseen realm, we talk about the divine counsel worldview, we talk about Elohims, we talk about sacred geography, we talk about all of these awesome things that we learn from Mike. People see you as if you had 3 heads, at your local congregation. And actually the DRMSH community is that place where you see a lot of like-minded people. There's over 1,000 people in that community, and you can actually join right now if you want. And actually, we're going to be doing a Q&A with Ron, and we're going to be doing Q&As with Mike Chu. We also have other people like Joel Mutamalit is going to be helping us out. We're going to have other people that are going to be joining us. Their names escape me. There's so many on the list that they're going to be doing Q&As with us that know the DRMSH, the DCW content, and they're going to be part of this. So I'm going to bring on the screen the way that you can actually do this. So this is the way that you can join. So if you're seeing my screen right now, this is drmsh.com. This is Dr. Heiser's website. All you have to do is come here to the corner, right? All you have to do is come here to the corner and click Join Community. This will take you to the login page. You can actually try it for free. When you click this, you're going to be sent to a sign up page. And when you go through the process, I'm not going to go through the process right now because, I'm on my computer and I'm already part of the community. But you type in 25 DRMSH into the box, and I'm actually going to show it here. You pop it into this box right here, 25 DRMSH, and you will be able to sign up for a whole year for 25% off. And remember, we're going to be doing weekly exclusive content. Now, we have a ton of footage from Dr. Heiser that we have not released, is going to get released inside the community before it ever hits social media. So that's one of the perks of being part of the community. But the best perks is that you're going to be able to interact with scholars like Dr. Ronn, with like Mike Chu and others, and you're going to get your questions answered. Also, there are a lot of very intelligent members of the community that can answer your questions, and you're going to be able to interact inside that community. Now, the community is just like a social media platform, but then again, it's private. So you're going to be able to ask questions that sometime on social media you don't want to ask, right? You're going to have that privacy of the community. You're also going to be able to take it on the go because it has an app for your Android-based device, for your Samsung phone or for your iPhone. These apps are 100% legitimate. You just go to the App Store and download it, log in with your credentials, and you have the DRMSH community in your pocket, and you're going to be able to be part of the community that supports Dr. Heiser's work, right, moving forward, his legacy work. So 25% off the yearly subscription. All you have to do is go into drmsh.com, click on join community, follow the steps, and then when it's time to put your information, your personal information, you put the coupon code 25 DRMSH, and then you will be able to join. So guys, please make sure you do this. Ron is going to be there. Mike Chu is going to be there. I'm going to be there, and a lot of other scholars are going to be part of that. You can ask questions. You have prayer boards. We're going to have a built-in courses there. We're going to be releasing some other things in the future. We have so many projects coming up for the just the legacy work that we're going to be doing with Mike's stuff, that we do want to make sure that you guys be part of this. Ron, can you tell us a little bit, and because I want people to get a glimpse of what this daily dose of Bible are. So tell us, let's say that we start with 1 John. How do you break this down on one of these videos?
Well, 1 John's going to be near the very end, of course, but the first video will be Genesis 1 and 2, as I recall, and I'll presume you've read the text, and I'm just going to jump right in. In the beginning, God created, and I'll draw what I think is being described, especially to the first hearer and the original writer. In other words, this was Mike's genius. That's not new to him, of course, but this is part of what it means to be a divine counsel worldview content person, would be think like the original writer and audience. So that's how I'll handle it, is what would the original audience have heard when they read this or heard this being read to them? And so I'll work through that every day. It's not deep in the sense of devotional. In fact, I would even warn you, it's not devotional at all. It's textual. It's exegetical. So within the first video or two, we're into Elohim and the concept of Adam versus Elohim and how that would create a cosmology of the ancient world in the ancient reader's mind and so forth. So it gets into technicalities right away. And by the way, you can't do them out of order. That's why we're not putting them out all at once, because the desire to go to John, like you say, 1 John, it just wouldn't work, because it would be like jumping into chapter 37 of a novel. You wouldn't know where you are. So it's purposely chronological. Our Bibles are not ordered chronologically, right? Our Old Testaments especially are ordered by genre, frankly.
Correct.
And so whoever put our Bibles together, God bless them, but they weren't thinking chronologically, which I find to be frustrating, right, for the Bible reader, because Paul's letters all come in, one big batch, and they're ordered, by the way, by size, by size of books. So whoever had that idea, I don't know where they got it from, but the whole idea of reading the Bible in order, looking for the big story, is what it's all about. So that's what it'll do.
That's fantastic. So that's what we're going to be doing inside the DRMSH community, and we encourage you to be part of this. Remember that this income is going to serve as the fuel for us to continue to produce the content based on the content of this. And then I have a couple of people here saying, for example, Mitch Okubo says, do we also get a discount if we're already members? Well, no, this is an incentive for new members. If you're already a member, you know the value that you're getting from the community. So we want to make sure that we keep it like that, because like I said, every penny counts towards this. Then Stephanie says, this sounds great, but I'm concerned about limiting access to the masses. Well, we appreciate your concern. We all have that concern, but this is exactly why we need this, because we are going to make a ton of content available to the masses in the future, but there is no such thing as a free lunch. That's just the way the world works, unfortunately. So we need to make sure that we have the ability to produce and mass produce this content. But that's what the seminary in a flash drive is going to do in the future. But we're not there yet. God is, because God is atemporal, but we are not. And we need to have a chronological way to get there. So, Mike, with that being said, you're being the academic dean of the Awakening School of Theology. Tell us a little bit of about what's coming up, what courses are being produced, and then again, I produce online courses a lot, and it's a lot of work, from the cameras to the video sets to the hours of recording, to the video editors, to the creative directors, to the graphic designers, to the overlays, to the audio engineers, to everything. Actually, I just got back from Focus on the Family, where these guys have a big, deep pocketbook, and they're looking at creating new studios, and they also looking at the budget and saying, whoa, this is a big investment. So I know that Awakening is pouring a ton of effort into creating these new courses, and both you and Ron are part of it. So tell us a little bit about these new courses that are being produced. And Ron, maybe you can jump in with Mike later on and tell us about the new course that you're creating over there as well.
Thanks, Jorge. So at the Awakening School of Theology, and this is a little quick summary if you do not know, because Jorge mentioned it. He called it the seminary on a thumb drive. It's a short way of describing essentially a dream that Dr. Heiser had, which was to provide seminary level content, especially for pastors and lay leaders who are trying to take care and teach their congregations, but they are in areas and maybe sections of places where they have limited access. They can't access a seminary, they can't access materials online that easily. And so the idea and the hope is to create content that would be made available to them for free. And it would be, exclusive for those folks who are trying to be able to, teach their churches, teach their congregations, but may not have the resources to go to a formal seminary education. This will be something that will be done on kind of a case-by-case basis. We will make sure that they will have access to the content. And for those who actually want to be able to access that same material, especially here in the States, where people can actually afford at least the prices that we do at Awakening, that is something that we ask, hey, this is actually something that you're contributing. Every time that you do purchase a course, when you go into one of the courses that Awakening does, it's helping to contribute to, one, the creation of the new courses for the seminary on a thumb drive, but also, two, it's essentially helping pay for those who are going to be given this immense blessing. Because we know there's going to be a lot of pastors and teachers who just don't have the ability to go to a school.
Correct.
But we want them to be able to get some proper education, some actually good content, some material that Mike had always wanted the layperson to have access to.
Right. I do want to say that Mike was the one that taught me and that showed me the heart for contributing and making these resources available to those who doesn't have the means for, right? And this is one of the missions for my company, Worldview Media. So I work full time for crossexamine.org. I am staff apologist. I'm actually the lead for the Latin America community, the American community, and everybody knows in the ministry that every time I, hop on a plane and fly down to Latin America, that's a mission, right? Because we're going to be in the negative. We're going to be in the red when I get back, right? So we understand that. And actually, one of the things in missions at Worldview Media, what I do is actually all the profits from my company are focused on buying translation rights for books that are not available in Spanish, that is good theology, and then we publish them out, and for anybody who lives here in the States, they can get them from Kindle for $2-3, but everybody who lives in Latin America that don't have the buying power that we have here in the United States, guess what? I learned from Mike when you go to the resources at melock.org that he has all these other languages free. That's what I do. That's one of the callings that God has given me, so I totally understand to service the underprivileged. We understand that. But this initiative is exactly that, Mike. So tell us about what's happening with the new courses that are being produced.
So part of this, the official name for the Seminary on the Thumb Drive is the Certificate of Biblical Doctrine. And Dr. Ron Johnson actually recently, about I think 2 months ago it was, that we had filmed a course called The Doctrine of Salvation. And Dr. Johnson came in, filmed with our film crew, and we were able to get that out actually about, I think now 2 months ago. And so that's been part of the process. We do have new courses that are coming down the line. We had released Dr. Matthew Halstead, who actually is featured on this week's release on, Mike's favorite podcast. And later on in October 2nd, we're releasing a new course from Dr. David Capes of the Langolier Theological Library. And he's going to be talking about his material on the divine Christ. And the divine Christ is a very interesting topic because it's essentially him tracing how the word Kyrios or Lord in our English New Testaments was eventually connected to the deity of Jesus. And so there was that kind of conversation that he's going to be bringing in for the whole entire certificate as well. Dr. Johnson is going to be filming with us for 2 more courses for right now. We may tag you a little bit more for some other courses, Ron, but he's going to be helping us, and we're going to be doing more filming in the next coming months. Dr. Joel Matamali, whom Jorge, you had just mentioned, he had just finished filming one other course for us as well. And so we have a lot that's coming down the pipeline. And that's part of the excitement and why I wanted to help in being the academic director for the school was, one, I get to have early access to the material.
Right,
and then two,
that's always good.
It's just to continue this heart that Mike always had. And even for me, in my first year at seminary, one of the first things that I read in my first course was about the importance of theological education. And the thing that has always stuck with me was that St. Augustine, right? Everyone has a different opinion about him. But one of the things I realized in learning about him was that he never intended to become a teacher, a pastor. He just I want to just be a faithful Christian. I want to learn this stuff because I realized I really didn't know anything. And he was tapped by his church of, hey, you can read scripture. You can read. Can you please read this for us? Can you teach us what this is saying? And so out of reluctance, he said yes. But over time, he slowly, taught and loved the people in his congregation. And one of the things I learned at my time at my seminary was that when you are given the privilege of learning and drawing in all this material, there is a responsibility to teach those within the church. There's a responsibility and a shepherding role that comes with that. And so that was, whatever your opinion about Augustine may be, I came to really love that heart, that ultimately the responsibility of us who do go to school, who go to the academics, ultimately it's always to bring that material back to our people and to teach them, to train them, to mature them as disciples of Christ. That is the calling. That is why we go, so that we can bring this material to people to learn.
That's awesome, man. So Ron, some of the stuff that you're doing in Awakening, tell us, the work that you have done and what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I did thank you for the honor of being able to do the Doctrine of Salvation, and I'll be doing the Old Testament orientation and New Testament orientation coming up here in a month or two. And again, you can get many good courses, even online, for this kind of content. What makes it different or unique, and I think valuable, is that these courses are being taught from a divine council worldview backdrop, so that the plural Elohim concept is right off the bat part of how we're teaching these courses, because, as Mike would love to say, the idea that divine plurality was a reality was built into their minds. And so when they hear even the concept, as Mike just alluded to, the divine Christ, the reason that's important is because from a divine council worldview, that phrase, divine Christ, would have meaning that we need to unpack before we even get into it in English. And that's why this is so valuable. As I've learned from Mike and learned with Mike, again, we go back ourselves some 40 years going through this together, and realizing that until you get that mindset, you can reread the Bible every year and read it the same way every time. But until you understand how they thought,
that framework,
it won't be an open book. And so that's our goal, is to open this up.
I think you just say something very important, Ron, and that is that when you read it like that, it comes unlocked. You start seeing things that you'd never seen before. You start understanding the puzzle pieces come together. It's truly, and it's funny because I was gonna say the word, and then it realized that's what the seminary is called, is an awakening, right? Of the scriptures, when you're like, wow, this is why I've never seen this before. Why nobody has ever taught me this in all my years as a Christian, right? Why is it that the church as a whole is not aware of this? And I think this is one of the things that pushes to be as committed and as enthusiastic about all of these initiatives. I was talking to Drina today, and actually we want to talk about this right now. It's we're talking about these podcasts that are coming up that are officially from the ministry, right? And one of the things is she says, "Do you have time to be part of this?" And I said, I'll make time, because I am committed to this. I see the value in it, and I see how transformative this is. So, tell us a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline, not only for Awakening, but also for, the Make Lot ministry that soon is going to be called something else. Tell us what the update of the name is going to be. I know Drina posted it across the DCW group, and I know that we can speak freely on that, what the name update is going to be and what the podcast is going to be, Ron.
And Mike, maybe you need to help me with the name. Isn't it the Michael S. Heiser Foundation? I believe that's the name.
Yeah, the Michael S. Heiser Foundation.
Right. And it's not officially by legal standards a foundation, but we're going to call it that anyway, and that's fine. Our legal team told us we could do that. We're both on the board of McLeod, me and Mike. And but a podcast, we have just, and Mike was so gracious. I got on the phone with him, what was it, a couple days ago, Mike, and my agenda was to do anything I could to twist Mike's arm to find time to join me in a podcast that would be weekly, called the Divine Council Worldview Podcast. How's that for being unique or original? But to keep Mike's legacy alive. The beauty of having Mike Chu on this podcast will be that he knows Mike, his work better than I do, because I was standing, as it were, beside Mike. I didn't read everything he said. There's hard, well, who has? But the journey we took was parallel more than just listening to Mike for me. So it's going to be fun, because we are tag teaming our way in this podcast. I'll be doing the the study ahead of time, but Mike will be joining on as a co-host to be a sounding board for an exegetical study. We're going to go right into Genesis. Right off the bat, this will be starting in November. And we're going to work our way through Genesis, just like Mike used to do, right? He took Leviticus, other books he did,
right.
Colossians, Revelation. We're going to keep that legacy and just get into the text and be concerned with how does this text get read from a divine counsel worldview. And I'm so glad to do it and honored to have Mike as part of that team. So that'll be coming in November, a weekly podcast.
Beautiful. So that's one of the initiatives. And actually, we were just talking about the Awakening School of Theology, all the new courses that are down the pipeline. You know, Dr. Ron, you're doing that. Mike, you're the academic dean, so you're bringing a ton of great people along with Carla Adcox and Drina. That you guys are really spearheading all of these content. So actually, Carla sent us a link, and this link I'm about to put this link into the chat for everyone who are watching. I'm gonna post this link here. I'm gonna see if this allows me to pin this post. Let me see if it allows me to pin this post. I don't know if it does. No, it doesn't allow me to pin the post, but I'm gonna try to go to the okay, yes, it did allow me to pin the post, I think. And what I want you guys to do is to follow me here, because I'm about to show you what we are getting, right? So this is a very generous offer that the leadership at Awakening School of Theology is giving us. And this is a bundle of Mike Unseen Realm 101 and 102. Both courses have 5-star reviews. And these are the two main courses. They're $400 a piece. But if you use this link that I'm again posting across all the social media platforms of Mike, you got to use that link. You cannot get it anywhere else. This is the DRMSH community bundle. So you buy Unseen Realm 101, Unseen Realm 102 for half price. They're regularly $3.99 a piece, but now you can get it for $5.98. So you're actually saving $200 on these courses. The only way you can get it again is using that link that is on the chat. If you don't get it now, you can go ahead on and save that link. We're gonna put it in the show notes. We're gonna put it on the content on the comment section of this live stream. But this right here is the only way that you can get $200 off this. And I got Mitch Okubo ask, is this a lifetime access? And that's something that that Mike Chu can answer. I don't know the answer to that. Mike, so how does that work?
So at the school, when you purchase a course, you have access to that course for an entire year. Now, the reason for that is because what we found over time was that our students tend to actually take the courses at their own pace. Sometimes life gets busy. You don't have time to be able to go through all the readings, all the materials, all the modules in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And so access to the material is limited to 1 year. Generally, everyone actually completes at least one of their courses by 1 year. There is an option later on that if you want to still continue access to view the video content, to get into the articles, the materials that are listed inside the course, there is a subscription model that is made available. But generally, for those who purchased this bundle, and this is only going to last till the end of this month, so August 31st at midnight, the next couple of days, if they use that link, they will have access to both Unseen Realm 101, Unseen Realm 102 at half off price. So that's 25% off total. And you will have a whole year's worth of access to the materials. You will have access to all of the articles that Mike had listed out, all of the ways that he broke down the material. And there's a lot. It's if don't let the name fool you into thinking that it's a video version of the Unseen Realm book. It is that, and pretty much also material that Mike had wished that he could have put in the book.
In the book, yeah.
But the book would have become about 2 or 3 times larger than it currently is, and that was already pretty big.
Well, that's pretty good, actually. Let me show everyone on the other side of the screen. You can get $200 off the Unseen Realm bundle, and the link is in the chat or the comment section. So make sure that you get this. Okay, you make sure that you get this. Mike, thank you for giving us that update. And we actually have one more amazing announcement. So make sure you get this. Okay, we got Rick Sawyer say, when signing up for the community and entering the coupon code, it returns this code is invalid but doesn't apply to items in your order. You got to make sure that you sign up for the yearly, okay, not for the monthly, but for the yearly subscription at the community, right? Because the monthly subscription is $9.99, right? If you sign up for the yearly subscription, you're getting it 25% off. Okay, so that's what you need to do, Rick. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the work that we're doing here at with Mike's content and Mike's legacy content. So we have one more stuff, and then one more announcement, and this is the big special announcement. And this is one of the things that I want to share with you guys, is that we all want to have, I was privileged, and I know Ron was, and Mike Chu was as well, to have direct access to Mike. Every time I needed to know something about a commentary, I text Mike, and he will give me 3 or 4. Right, when I was researching a topic, I will text Dr. Heiser, and he will give me a ton of papers what to look for. He always knew who was who in the world of, Old Testament, New Testament. So we had that privilege. And a lot of people say, hey, I want to take Dr. Heiser with me everywhere the way you guys had it. And a lot of people have been asking, hey, how can I do that? How can I have, and again, we have Awakening School of Theology with this amazing, $200 off offer. We have a beautiful community regarding the all the content related to the DCW and all the stuff that Mike did. This community, again, is a membership site, because it is a private community where we get exclusive content that is going to be rolling out later on, and it supports the ministry. But also, a lot of people has been asking us. We've done several live streams regarding Logos Bible software, and a lot of people tell us, hey, look, I'm not ready to commit to Logos, but they have so much amazing Heiser content. How can we avail ourselves of this content without having to buy Logos? And really, we've been asking, you've been asking, and we'll listen. And this is exactly what we want to share with you guys right now. Dr. Heiser was instrumental in creating what is known today as mobile ed at Logos Bible Software. But a lot of you guys don't have Logos Bible Software, but you guys do want to have Dr. Heiser's courses. And today, we're going to actually open that option for you. And this is something that has never been done before, and it's probably not going to be done again. And the reason why we're doing this is because there's probably no better way to take Dr. Heiser with you everywhere you go than with the ability to be able to access all his 16 courses that he did over the 10 plus year that he was at Logos Development Mobile Ed. Each one of these courses not only comes, it is handcrafted by Dr. Heiser, but it comes with the full transcription and the full plethora of, it has a syllabus, it has tests that you can take at your own pace, it has video, it has audio, you can do it on your iPad, you can do it on your iPhone, you can do it on any mobile device, and all of this is for you to be able to continue to grow. Now, this is not going to happen anytime again soon. This is something that we were given the privilege to be able to give you guys this. And this is one of the things that I want to share with you. So first, I'm going to bring the boys back, and I'm actually going to Mike and Dr. Ron about the courses. Dr. Ron, tell me a little bit about why do you think, and we haven't unveiled the major announcement, but I want you to share a little bit about these mobile ed courses that we're going to be making available to everyone here at an amazing price.
The privilege of this offer is, and this applies to me, there are two basic Bible software programs that you can have or buy.
Right.
The Cadillac versions of Bible software are either Logos or Accordance. And there have been others that have come and gone throughout the years, but when it comes to stable Bible software programs that you can invest in, I have historically invested in Accordance, and
Right.
I have Logos, but I have not kept up with it because you kind of have to decide which way you're going to go unless you're independently wealthy. And so I've invested in the Accordance side over the years. Mike, of course, was at Logos. But what this offer is doing is saying you don't have to buy Logos. You could stay an Accordance user like myself,
Right.
and you can have access to all 16 courses that Mike did for the mobile ed division there at Logos and have access, which is fantastic. So that's where I see this offer being not just helpful, but well, over the top.
Yeah.
Put it.
No.
Put a word on it.
Yeah, that is amazing. And one of the things I want to make sure that you guys, and actually it was Mike Chu who reminded me that I needed to bring this front and center to everybody who's watching right now and who's going to be watching in the next day or two, is that the proceeds from this are going to go directly to Drina and the Heiser family. That's one of the things that we are committed to doing, is making sure that Drina and the kids are taken care of, because they sacrificed so much, right? They not only lost the husband and their dad, right? But also someone who sacrificed so much to give us all this amazing material, and we were committed to doing that. So without further ado, guys, I want to go ahead on and share what we're going to be able to do for you guys. And I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to show you. So this is what we're going to be doing. It's never been done before. All 16 courses of Logos Mobile Ed are going to be discounted 60% off. If you were to buy these courses individually, you'll be spending over $3,000. But right now, if you decide that you want to be able to say, hey, I don't want Logos. All I want is the master collection of Dr. Heiser. All 16 courses come with all the resources built into it, right? And of course, there's a bunch of other stuff that you can, do in the courses. And I'm about to show you a few of the things that you can do. So you get 60% off the bundle. All you have to do is you have to go to logos.com/Heiser. It's right there on the screen. Logos.com/Heiser. You don't have to own Logos. You will actually get a free account created if you don't have Logos yet. If you do have Logos and you already own some of these courses, then the dynamic pricing is going to allow you to pay even less. And I'm about to blow your mind to show you how much all 16 courses of Dr. Heiser cost. You can get them, all of them, for $720, and you don't have to pay everything up front. You will be paying around $50 a month for about, I think it's 14 to 16 months, and all of these courses are yours. Logos will be doing the financing. They're not going to be charging anything extra. They just want you to have these courses. Most of you guys spend $50 on nonsense. I tell you guys, I take Dr. Heiser's Everywhere I go, guys, everywhere I go, I take Dr. Heiser stuff with me. I'm constantly using my iPhone to listen to these courses. I'm constantly popping in the audio of these courses when I go running, when I go jogging, when I go to the gym. I'm constantly learning and using this, so much so that actually my son goes to a Christian school, but it is remote. And in the electives, guess what the electives are for my son? Heiser courses. This is such a complete system that when you go over there, it gives you the syllabus, it gives you the tests, it asks you the questions after each lesson so you can have your own notes built into it. Who doesn't want to sit at the feet of Dr. Heiser? And right now you can get it for 60% off. This is not going to come again, guys. We actually convinced the people at Logos, let us have these courses without having to buy logos. And then say, we'll do it. And we say, how much? And they say, we'll bring it down 60% off. $50 a month. Guys, you waste $50 on nonsense. And if you want to start buying this little by little, you're not going to be paying no $50 a month. You're going to spend a bunch of money. You got to go to logos.com/Heiser, and you will see you can actually, if you have any questions, you can actually come here and send your questions to this webinar. But remember, this is a flash sale, and it means exactly that. Midnight Pacific Standard Time, last day of this month. You will not be able to get this if it's past that time. These are 16 courses. Let me show you what one of these look like. This is my Logos screen right now. Most of you guys, if you don't have Logos, you don't know what you're looking at, but I'm about to show you. Okay. So this, what you're looking at right now, is the front page or the landing page of Logos. Here you have a grid called Tools. When you click on Tools, it's going to give you a list. Obviously, I already have the courses here on my favorites. But if you scroll down at Reference, you're going to find that tab that says Courses. You're going to click on Courses, and the courses are going to load up. It's going to take some time because it's pulling the list from the internet. But if you pull this and you type Heiser, if you buy this bundle, this is what you're going to see. Introduction to Biblical Interpretation, Context and Resources, Problems in Bible Interpretation, Difficult Passages. Part 1, Problems in Bible Interpretation, Difficult Passages, Part 2. Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Problems in Bible Interpretation. Why do Christians disagree about the Bible? The Cosmic Mountain, Intersection of Heaven and Earth, Divine Rebellions. How did we, well, let me see, because I got some in Spanish too. How do we got the Old Testament? The Jewish Trinity, how the Old Testament reveals the Christian Godhead. How do we got the New Testament? And all of these courses are jam-packed with nothing but Dr. Heiser stuff. Let's go to Divine Rebellions. That's one of the ones that Mike Chu said it was his favorite. Here you're going to see, you start in this. All you have to do is click start. And let me tell you something. All of this is available in your pocket, whether it's your Samsung phone or any Android-based phone, any iPhone, any iPad, any tablet, any computer. You will have the ability to have access to this. When you click start, you study at your own pace. When you click start, it actually loads the syllabus. Everything is already hyperlinked. You come over here, it gives you the description of the course right here. Then all the course outcome, what Mike developed for you to learn. Right? These are the outcomes. This is what Mike wants you to know at the end of each one of these amazing courses. And then it gives you recommended readings, recommended books. Obviously, these are Mike's books. And guess what? Right now we have the Mike Heiser book bundle for 25% off too. Remember, this is a flash sale. This is going to come and go. The same way that the Lord Jesus is going to come back, you ain't going to know it. Okay? So you got to make sure that you pay attention. You go to logos.com/Heiser and read every word on that landing page. You'll be able to come into, you get the course outline. Everything is already hyperlinked, right? Everything is already hyperlinked all the way to the conclusion. So if you already made yourself aware of what's in the syllabus. Remember, that's the number one thing that college professor says. Hey, professor, what do I have to do? It's in the syllabus. It's in the syllabus. It's in the syllabus. So check the syllabus. Then you just click continue, and you will see that this session is finished 100%. You click continue again, and then you're brought into the first lesson. And here we have a tremendous quality-based lesson of Mike.
Scholar in residence at Faith Life, makers of Logos Bible software. Thanks for joining us for our course on divine rebellions. What we're going to do in this course is try to get a little bit closer to a biblical view of the hostile powers of darkness, spiritual forces that are in rebellion against the God of Israel.
You can watch it at normal speed. You can watch it at 1.5, at 2x. And actually, you can get the transcript. Let's say that you're writing a paper for seminary or for school, or you're doing research and you want to quote this course. The software will allow you to copy and paste onto a Word document inside the course where you got it from. There are a lot of things in these courses that Mike never wrote on in a book. This is like adding more Heiser books to your library and being able to listen to them in Mike's own voice for 60% off. You're able to go through the whole thing, then you continue, right? You continue, and then you go, and then it pops up the other segment, the overview of the 3 rebellions. It gives you all the complete transcript already hyperlinked to the actual place where you need to go. The whole thing is hyperlinked. You finish this, and then it's going to pop up the next thing, and then it's going to give you the next segment, and then it's going to give you all the different suggested readings for all of this right here. It's going to give you all of the suggested readings for all the different topics that they talk about. And then you can explore suggested readings. You can explore every single video. Talk about Job. Talk about the rebellion in Genesis 3. The controversy in Ezekiel and Isaiah. The second rebellion. And so on and so forth. And you will be able to see everything all in one place, and all of the courses are just that good. All of the videos are recorded in high quality, good audio, good video, tremendous editing with the overlays that they put out there, right? And all the recommended readings built into the course. Now you don't need anything else other than Heiser's books and this course, and you'll have a next level education on the unseen realm and the divine counsel worldview. And this is just one of the courses, and you take it at your own pace, and these courses are yours forever at 60% off. All you have to do is go to logos.com/Heiser. A lot of you guys going to have a lot of questions, and we are going to have a Q&A after this. But like Dr. Ron Johnson said, you don't have to own Logos. You can be an Accordion user. You can be a Net Bible user, right? You can be using all the free resources out there, And you can add this amazing 16 course package to your arsenal for 60% off. You can pay $50 a month. Stop, going to Starbucks and spending $50 a month. You can stop your 5 lattes a month and get this course, right? Starbucks, they support the devil anyways, and you can be supporting the Lord by getting into the Word and learning from the rich legacy that Dr. Heiser left us. So 60% off, and you can get the Heiser, the Unseen Realm bundle, 12 books for 25% off, right at $100, right? So there's no commitment to having to get logos. All you have to do is be able to have Mike in your pocket. This is not going to last. It's going to end 8/31st, 2023 at midnight Pacific time. So guys, I can show you all the courses if you want to. I can actually go and show you all the courses. Biblical interpretation, how we got let's go with the Jewish Trinity. It gives you all the suggested books list right here. All of them. You can click start. 57 lessons sitting at the feet of Dr. Heiser. Yes, he ain't with us anymore, but he left us a wealth, an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the information that he left us. He devoted his life to do this for us. And now you can take it with you anywhere. My son is 15. His electives, I just say, what, here you go. Smack him with a couple of Heiser courses. That's what you got to do. This is a ton. How do we respond to the Jewish objections of the Trinity? Bam. You can have it right here and open it right on the side. And everything is right there for you. The course, all the hyperlinks, all the text. Right here, let me make this a little bigger. Let me bring this. Boom. You can have everything ready. Go ahead.
If I could say also one thing. And so this is kind of the thing about, I've been a Logos user for years, ever since I started seminary. It was actually, Logos was part of the reason why I found Dr. Heiser in the first place, and also why eventually it led me down that pathway of going to seminary. But that's another story. But one of the things that I recently learned, and this was, I felt a little silly about, is that one, I didn't realize there were actually written out transcripts for every one of the videos. I just did it old school way, watched the videos directly, and I didn't even realize that there was a different section that had the entire transcript all written out. And not just that, you could search the transcript. You can look for certain phrases. You can look for certain things. And it was just like, oh my gosh, if I knew this would have been so much easier to find stuff instead of just trying to remember, was it around minute 8? and just trying to do it that way. But the other thing as well, that just in case if folks don't understand, especially if you've never used Logos before, if you do have some courses from Mike, they have something that they do called dynamic pricing. Yes. And so even the price that you see for $720 for all 16 courses, if you already have one or two of the courses, when you go into that bundle page, it will actually adjust the price based on the fact that you have some of the courses already. It'll reduce the price even further. So for example, for me, I didn't have all of Dr. Heiser's courses. They are expensive normally. And this was also me being in seminary. I'm picking and choosing which ones are the ones I really wanted to understand. And I chose, for example, how did we get the Old Testament? And so with that course, and a few others that I had from Mike, if I were to do the dynamic pricing, the price dropped below 500.
Right.
Just because I already had the courses there. Right. And so they're not going to charge you the full 720. It's actually just based on what do you already have. And
that'll bring down the monthly payment as well. Yeah. You need to understand that. And we have a lot of questions here. Guys, we're going to do two things. We're not only going to answer your questions regarding this or anything you have regarding the DRMSH community with the 25% off, or for the yearly subscription or the Awakening 200% off. But we also going. Yeah, Dawn, he says 17.99. Yes, but if you go into that page, whenever you check out, is going to ask you whether you want it for a one-time pricing, or whether you want it spaced out in 14 months or 16 months, or for however long is here. And actually, we have Miss Drina Heiser right now on the chat, if you can see on YouTube. Okay, so we want to let you guys know also that all your questions are going to be answered in just a little bit. I'm going to tell you the dynamic, because I'm a one-man band. I'm running everything from here. So when we open for Q&A, have all your questions ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be picking questions as they come. I have not opened for Q&A yet, but we're going to have both questions about the offers and questions about theology, because we have Mike Chu and Dr. Ron Johnson here as well. So guys, I don't know if you guys want to say anything else about these courses, because we do want to be able to service our audience with the Q&A.
Good to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't wait to see people get these.
All right. So, guys, let's do this. For everybody who's on the other side of the screen, this is super simple. Type the word question in all caps. Okay. Type the word question in all caps on your chat, and then redact your question in normal lowercase letters. But that will allow me to be able to spot the questions and to put them on my comments. So I will be able to then bring those questions onto the screen, and then bring those questions onto the screen, and then ask. There you go, right there, just like that. And then ask those questions to Dr. Ron and Mike Chu as well, just like Blake did it. You see how Blake did it right there? That's exactly how I want you to do it. Question in all caps, and then redact your question in the regular format, okay? So we have several questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We got Jesse and Silva Prada says, great, I'm going to purchase right now. Thank you. We have more questions coming in. We got more questions coming in. It's a funny handle, Delicious Game Developer. We have, let's see, bundle or purchase the full certificate bundle. We will answer that. So we got questions coming. Gentlemen, we are seeing all these questions coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start asking these questions and let you guys answer the questions, so I can continue to pull the questions onto the screen. So let's start with the first one, and that was Blake. Blake asked the following question. The transcripts are awesome. Does anyone know if the CC or subtitles work in mobile ed? I don't know how to answer that. I will have to pull it up. Okay, so let me see. Mike, you want to say something?
Yeah, Jorge, while you pull that up, if I remember correctly, because with mobile ed, you can watch it on your iPad and on your smartphone app, the Logos app. And so if I remember correctly,
Our course is entitled
when I was watching the videos at times through the online app,
Right.
I was able to pull up the closed captioning.
The closed
And
captions.
actually, you know, Logos does have also like an Apple TV app that allows watching of the mobile ed videos as well.
Yes, absolutely. I remember that. I used to watch them on there, and they automatically have captions.
Yes. So I would say that I'm pretty sure, but it's been a while since I've looked at it just from my phone. These days, I do just use it through my laptop because, one, I'm typing a lot of stuff, and it's a lot easier to have one little window on the side as the video is playing. And now that I know the transcripts are there, they're right underneath the video too, that I can just read along.
Very good. Very good. I got another question. So we have that one from Blake. This one. Okay, this one. It says, question, can my private account be used in a Sunday school class? Now, that would be a question for you to send the Logos rep. And actually, you can go here to let me pull up this page here. You can go here to the page and actually email them right here or call them. All right, and call them. And remember that if you're gonna make the purchase through phone, you gotta give them the Heiser code, coupon code. All right. So that's a question that we don't have the answer for because we don't have a rep here. But I would say that it probably depends. Now, if you're not giving away, if you're using it, and again, we see this all the time, right? Back in the day, we used VCR tapes, right, with the workbooks. We used to use. Then we went to DVDs, right, and then we have the lessons, and then we go over. I don't see this being any different, but I don't work for Logos, so I don't know how to answer that. So I will let them answer that for you. I don't know if any of you two have any thoughts on that, guys.
I don't. Not sure.
There was a while ago. I'm not sure if they're still running it. Logos did have packages where they would allow churches to buy licenses for their video content. And so, it would be like a yearly package. Everyone would actually, like, you would tell them how large is your church, for example, and then they would just price out a package for you where then everyone from your church can create an account, gain access, and boom, you see all the courses, all the materials, and they can all take it at their own pace and time. I'm not up to date because, again, none of us here are actually Logos representatives. I use a Logos all the time. Ron is on the other team. It's kind of going to be funny how when we do the podcast, he's going to be using Accordance. I'm going to be probably looking at Logos, and we're just going to see what's the differences with our softwares. But in the end, the point is you will still have access to the content. Now, how you utilize it, how you make use of it as a teacher, right? Because you're supposed to absorb the data,
right?
Figure out how to actually teach it in a way that your people, your congregation, your context would understand. Saying it verbatim is not necessarily the best way in my experience.
Right. That's really good. I do want to answer these other questions. It says, can we purchase single courses with discount? Yes, you can. You can actually go and get some discount here on single courses, but you're not going to get a lot. You can pick one or two. I think it is discounted, but I don't know if it's the full discount. Oh yeah, right here it says save, and I'm going to bring this. It says save 25% on any individual course. Coupon code Heiser at checkout. Again, save 25% on any individual Dr. Heiser course. Use coupon code Heiser at checkout. So you can get individual courses, but at the end of the day, you buy 2 or 3 courses, you might as well buy the whole bundle because you're going to be saving just as much. Next question says, what would be a good Logos-based package to use with these courses? Usually, we actually recommend silver and above. But again, I'm not a Logos rep, so I wouldn't be able to answer that, better than I'm answering it right now. So I think you can just email the Logos guys or call them tomorrow early, first thing in the morning. We have another question here, and this is probably for you, Mike. It says, is Dr. Tim Mackey going to do any courses for Awakening?
There's nothing planned right now.
Okay. Moving on to the next one, it says, I have a certificate of biblical studies from Awakening. Is the Michael Heiser Master Course material different from what I already learned from Mike? And my answer, the quick answer is yes, but I'll give this to Mike Chu so he can answer that. And actually, that's one of the reasons why we partner up with Awakening today to do this, because the content differed greatly, but it does overlap in certain places. So Mike, how would you answer that?
So the way I would answer it is that, Dr. Heiser, he worked at Logos Bible Software for over a decade, I think almost 15 years, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the videos, courses on Logos, he was actually the one that helped spearhead that whole entire initiative. Yes. And so a lot of the material there is the stuff that he had developed during his time at Logos Bible Software. When he started the Awakening School of Theology, the material there is some overlap with his mobile ed courses from Logos, but it expanded. It gave him more freedom to be able to go into the more of the content that he wants to be able to show to people in his own courses. And so the way I would say it is, what you see in Logos is basically the material from Mike during his time at Logos. But once you get to the Awakening School theology material, this was the material that he had wanted to produce after 2019, especially. The stuff that he wanted to go into. He went into the Dead Sea Scrolls. He went into a lot more of, he teased this, actually, I remember in the QAs. Yeah, he talked about the two powers. He teased the idea that some of the stuff he was going to present in the school, in the Awakening School of Theology, would be stuff one day, if he had time, to have created Unseen Realm 2 book.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so a lot of the stuff that's in our courses is actually stuff that I had suspected he was going to put in a new book. But, it's just unfortunately the way it happened, it just never coalesced. It is now just simply in video or in audio format that is available, and maybe one day, maybe somehow we can coalesce something into like some sort of written material. But for the time being, that is the difference. Like everything after 2019 was Mike and Awakening School of Theology. It was his expanded material, the stuff that he always wants to talk about, but he just figured because of time and constraints, he couldn't make available all of it in the Logos packages.
That's a good answer, Mike. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next question. And we have this one is, Mike, Ron, any plans to host a paper journal article discussion at the DRMSH community like what Dr. Heiser was doing? And actually, I'm going to answer this. And it is right now, we don't have a particular plan to do that, but the door is not closed. We need to take it one step at a time. That is, time permits. Mike's schedule is tight. Dr. Ron's schedule is tight as well. So we're going to start with the Daily Dose of Bible and with simple Q&As, and then we might expand to that. I know that either one of you will do a great job at that, and the community will be blessed by that. But right now, we don't have a particular goal of doing that, but it's something that we have in the horizon. So we actually have questions not related to the 60% off flash sale or the Awakening School of Theology bundle Unseen Realm or the DRMSH community. This is actually a question that I want either one of you to tackle. And let's try to do quick fire or rapid fire answers. I know some of these are more complex than others, but we do want to get as many as possible as time is running out for us. So I'm studying Bible in Australia. I'm noticing the increasing influence of Marxism and CRT, or critical race theory, creeping into all the Bible colleges and courses. Same's happening here. It scares me. Same here as in the States. Actually, we export a lot of stupid ideas. How I should think about it. So, Ron, that may be one for you.
I don't have enough background with, I guess, the question and the context. I'm sorry to punt, but don't have much.
Mike?
I can tag in. It's one of the interesting courses that Dr. Heiser did at the Awakening School of Theology was a course called Old Testament Apologetics. It's our 201 course. It was the third course he made at the school when it started. And a big part of that course was diving into the issues about postmodernity, postmodernism. And I've said this in other venues and other ways at times. And I think one of the things that we in the Western Church haven't realized is that our society is pretty much now post-Christian. And, in our various Christian camps or various Christian circles, we have, in some level of success, insulated ourselves from that kind of influence. But the reality is we do live in a culture and a time that has moved beyond Christianity. They are now post-Christian. And a lot of that involves also a modern way of thinking, the way of how life is supposed to be lived, and the assumptions thereof. So Dr. Heiser, in that course, he actually goes right into that. He goes into like, what are the challenges of postmodernism about the type of thinking? How do we address that from a divine counsel worldview? How do we address that from the culture and the context, and how to actually understand the Old Testament when we face objections or questions or criticisms about the Old Testament, for example. So I would recommend that course. But in general, the way that I would think about it is, anytime you have these kind of theories about what life is, how should we live in this world, it's trying to answer really the core fundamental questions that humans have always asked. Why are we here? Why do we suffer? Like, is there a purpose in my life? And those questions that, whether Marxism, critical theory, whatever comes in the future, it always has that base of trying to answer, like, is there something more than us just being born, living, and then dying? And I think the beauty about the gospel and the beauty about just having a supernatural worldview, which is at the core of what a divine counsel worldview is, you're just acknowledging that there is more than just this physical world. That at the core of it, in the end, our perspective is that we have a creator God who wanted a family that was both divine and human, and he wanted us to come together, that there is a trajectory towards history, and that there is a destiny that we're heading towards. And so I wouldn't necessarily be afraid. What I would encourage is to actually learn, grow in your knowledge, and also remember that all the knowledge is ultimately meant to be used in a way to love and minister those who are trying to answer questions that you and I have been always trying to answer. Why do we hurt? Why is there suffering? Is there meaning to life? Is there someone who actually created me? And so that's how I would go from it. I wouldn't necessarily, approach it from a fearful disposition, because then we just want to batten up the hatches.
Right.
But what I would want to encourage is dialogue and engagement, and also love for the person who's asking the question.
Thank you, Mike. And I'd like to take back in, just to go off what you said. Where Mike came from is where you and I are both coming from, and that is a conservative evangelical background that takes the Bible extremely seriously, right? And it's good to read outside of our own parameters and theological liberalism and such, and understand where they're coming from. But it's just always good to remind the audience that Mike came from a position of theological conservatism that was careful, and so do you and I. And so as we come into this podcast season and everything that the community is going to be going through, you're going to hear the same voice. We take the Bible very seriously. We believe it's God's word for this age. So thank you for your answer. It was very well done.
Yeah, that was good. I would like to put my apologies hat on right now. We're in I think, a front of countercultural ideas now, because unfortunately, we if you understand the Overton window right now, the ideas that were acceptable, that were good, now has been pushed so far outside of this window that now they're unacceptable. Now they're outlandish, and that's what we're living. So a lot of very reputable theological institutions are moving more and more and more towards that sort of theology. Open the doors. This is something that it's been happening for decades. I will even say, we're hitting right at a century of how things are moving to, a more liberal theology, where the Bible has been watered down, where it's not the authority anymore. And then again, we need to understand, just like the people who study, that are expert in counterfeit money, they don't study the fake bills, they study the real bills, right? So when they come across a fake one, they are able to spot it. And I think that that's what we need to do. We need to be very knowledgeable on the scriptures and have a proper way of interpreting the scriptures, having good philosophy, be good critical thinkers. Just like C.S. Lewis says, Good philosophy need to exist, even if it's for no other reason to counteract bad philosophy, right? And I'm paraphrasing here, but that was one of the things that Mike did in understanding, studying the scriptures and the Jews to produce the scriptures, if you will, right? And that will allow us to counteract bad ideas with the truth. And when you share the truth, you got to do it in love, right? Because these people are also lost like you were, and you need to be the bridge between their issues, and hopefully you can bring the whole establishment with you, but your ultimate goal and your ultimate calling is to be able to make disciples and to be able to write to have right ideas about theology and God, and then share that. God didn't call us to make believers. He called us to make disciples, right? And then that's what is going to spread the gospel. I have another one question here, and I don't know if I can answer this. So if I can go through Apple TV, then it shouldn't stop me from using it in the group. I don't know about that, Daniel. Just please go ahead and email the guys at Logos. We don't have answers for you regarding that. Let's see. Is the reference reading list available? I have taken some Logos courses where I didn't own many of the suggested readings. It is there, like I said, Jim. It is there for you to purchase, and those are suggested readings. Same thing. I just started a seminary courses at ses.edu. That's where I take where I go to seminary at. And my professor, I'm doing communication within the biblical framework. I'm doing a class in communication, and I had to buy my own workbooks, and I had to probably just drool over all the suggested or recommended reading that I'm not going to have the ability to purchase. But it is the same thing here, right? It is the same thing here. There's no difference from a seminary course. Actually, that's what it is. A very well-made seminary course with very high tech. Next question. Is there a plan to have Dr. Heiser's books printed in Spanish? There is. I actually own a couple of Dr. Heiser's books printed in Spanish, but those are the ones who are from Miklot, right? And I'm going to be working on trying to get a lot of these books up online where you can buy them, right? We also will want to make some of these books available for free. Actually, Rich Baker was talking about that earlier, and Dr. Heiser's Instagram. My goal is for everybody to have Dr. Heiser's books in Spanish available. All right, whether they're available in print, we don't know yet, but right now you can go to miklot.org, click on resources, and you can not only download them on EPUB or Mobi or PDF or Word or even audiobook. So that is our goal, to get them in print. I don't know when that's going to happen. But again, keep supporting us financially, whether it's through the DRMSH community, where you can get 25% off of the year today, or through Awakening School of Theology, or through any other initiatives that we have here that you're going to be seeing across the Dr. Heiser's platforms. Is the Naked Bible podcast going to be integrated into the new podcast? No, it's not. This is a brand new initiative that we have the ability to have to direct, right? So we as the people who is over Miklot, right? It was going to be called, what is it going to be called now? The
Michael S. Heiser Foundation.
Michael S. Heiser Foundation. So Drina and the board and the team at the Michael S. Heiser Foundation, they're going to be able to direct this new initiative, and it's not going to be integrated. Okay. And let's see who else have questions. We're coming up on the end. I will say the last 5-10 minutes of this. So if you have any more questions, well, no, there's some over there, but they're just not. There's people that already asked questions, and we want to make sure that we give chance to other people and not the same people over and over again. We have over 150 people watching live right now. So first of all, I want to thank both of you, Dr. Ron and Mike, for making time to be part of this. this is definitely something that is very, very important to all of us. Um, to all of us, everything that we're doing. A lot of you guys don't know, but Ron is heavily involved in continuing the legacy. Mike is also heavily involved. I do what I can. Like I said, I do have my own ministry, but I do what I can because and this is probably the story that we all have, and it is that Mike's work changed the way I do theology and the way I see the Bible. I think that everybody on the other end has been touched by Mike's knowledge and the gifts that the Lord gave him. So this is something that I want to recognize that you guys really, and again, you guys have been part of this for a long time, probably longer than I have, and now that you're here, pretty much taking over a lot of the initiatives and making sure that this continues. And I know that Mike is looking down on us and is smiling, and he knows that what we're doing is to bring King Jesus glory at the end of the day. So Ron, thank you for being part of this. Tell people where they can find you. Obviously, the DRMSH community is a place where they going to be able to interact with you directly, and then we move on to Mike. Ron, give us some last words here.
Thank you for being part of the evening. I trust again that what we're doing as a community is going to help not only Drina and the family, but to push the Divine Council worldview concept in concept forward. So much more to do. Mike often said he felt he was working against the clock, and that's how it worked out in the end, that God wanted him home. My dad was 50 when God took him home.
Wow.
He was a pastor, and sometimes I think God just misses some people and takes them home, and that's probably what worked with Mike. God wanted him in a different place, and so we've got a job to do, and God help us have the same intensity that Mike had to keep us moving forward.
Amen. Ron, thank you for that. Mike, go ahead on and share with the audience your thoughts, closing. And again, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be part of this.
I think it's been 6 months since Mike had passed, and before he passed, he was focusing his time on being with his family, and I didn't want to bother him. I just simply texted him a message, and that message was really just to thank him. I had been thinking about seminary ever since I was a teenager. I had thought about, wouldn't it be interesting one day if I could ever preach or ever teach in front of the church, in front of those in my congregation, of my brothers and sisters. But I never bit the bullet. I never pulled the trigger. And I think, my wife being probably prompted somehow, because she was hesitant at first of letting me buy the Logos Bible stuff. But she had a feeling that if I bought it, maybe this might nudge me towards that direction. And it was just the most ironic thing that when I opened Logos, on that whole entire flash, that screen where it shows the landing page, they had this little thing that showed who I didn't know his name yet, but it showed this guy with glasses, and it said something about learn about the unseen realm. And I remember clicking on it, and it opened up this trailer, and it was basically a trailer for his book, which I had never saw before. Like, who actually makes a trailer for a book? Yeah. And it was talking about the unseen realm, and it intrigued me enough that I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on both unseen realm and supernatural, just to take like a gander. And once I read supernatural, I immediately went right into unseen realm, and I just consumed it. It ignited something in me that I never realized, that I actually could understand this material. That, yes, it was new. It took a while. There were a lot of footnotes. But I realized if I could actually understand this stuff, maybe I can actually start thinking about, maybe I should try to take a course at the seminary here in the Boston area. Maybe I should try to see, is it possible? Like, what are the possibilities? And in about 2 years after that, I started my first semester at Gordon Conwell.
Beautiful.
I credit Mike so often, even though he says many times, you don't have to go to seminary to learn this stuff. I absolutely agree. But the fact that God used that ironic little trailer to finally prompt me to finally take a step in a direction that was a dream of mine, to actually finally do it. I wish that Mike was alive long enough to be able to just hear me be able to tell him I graduated finally. Like I had wanted to be able to say that to him. But I thank him for the fact that that journey started for me. I had loved my time at Gordon. I love my time that I'm still doing at Gordon with my doctorate now. And like, it just was a journey that I would not have taken if it wasn't for that weird, funny book trailer.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Mike. Thank you for opening up your heart, sharing that testimony. And I'm sure that Mike knows this. It is just beautiful thing. We have so many beautiful stories, and I think part of the episodes of the Divine Counselor Worldview podcast are going to be testimonies of people that were changed by Mike, and they're still being changed by Mike in his work, just like you. And it's just going to be an amazing just an amazing journey moving forward as well. I do want to make sure that everybody is aware that we are going to be still until the end of the month, right? So we have about 4 days, guys. We're still going to be allowing you to get 60% off of all 16 courses of mobile ed. All you have to do is go to logos.com/Heiser. And you can also get 25% off the Unseen Realm book bundle. There's a ton of books for right $100. Make sure you go there. Also, remember that I'm going to put the link in the description. This is a different link, and it's a unique link for the people who are viewing this live stream right now. And I'm actually going to talk to Drina to see if we can send all of those links to the list of subscribers for Mike email list, so you actually get to have Unseen Realm 101 and Unseen Realm 102 from Awakening School of Theology for $200 off. And remember that if you sign up for the yearly subscription of the DRMSH community, you get 25% off. You go through the whole process. You go to drmsh.com, click on join community, put in all your information, follow all the steps. You will be prompted, and you will come here, and then you will pop in this coupon that says 25 DRMSH, and you will be able to then join us, because Dr. Ron is going to be doing a weekly daily dose of Bible on the DRMSH community. And actually, we had a question regarding that, and the question was, when will the weekly Bible study would start? And we're planning to do it in about a week or two. I know that you've been talking to Matthias.
The Bible reading calendar will have us start reading together as a community in October.
October. Okay, so October. So we have a month. You have a month. You can go ahead on and sign up now for 25% off, and you're saving $45. If you do the monthly, which is $9.99, you end up paying $120 a year. Right now, you can actually get it for $75. So you're actually saving $45 because the yearly thing is $100. So you already discounted $20. Okay, so that would be in October when we start the daily dose of Bible. Remember, you can also go here and actually I did promise that I was going to put this link again. That link that you're seeing on the screen right now, take a screen capture right now, or copy and paste on one of your notes, because this is not something that you can go to Awakening School of Theology and get the $200 off this bundle. This is only directly here. And then again, all you have to do is make sure that you can avail yourself to all of these resources. And again, we always have the naysayers. People say, hey, this is nothing but an infomercial. Actually, we open up for Q&A for people to ask questions that had nothing to do with any of the stuff that we're providing here. And there's a lot of people. Actually, it's so beautiful to see that the majority of people here understand the value of where we're trying to deliver to you guys. And all of the stuff that we do it with an open heart for education and edifying, and to give you guys access to minds like Ron and Mike Chu right now that are able to build on what was done by Dr. Heiser. And again, we love the fact that those who are really going deep down in the weeds of the divine council theology understand how much more we have to study. So I thank you both, Dr. Ron and Mike, for being here. Thank you for giving us your time, your attention. This is a huge investment. I actually told you guys, be prepared to be here for an hour and a half. It's been an hour and 48 minutes, even longer for you guys because we were preparing before the show for 30 minutes. So you guys gave us over two hours and some change here, and we truly, truly appreciate that. Guys, everybody on the other side of the screen, thank Dr. Ron and Mike Chu for being here, and we look forward to making this the hearing to see how you guys use all of these resources, and hopefully you avail yourself of all of these. We thank you, and until next time, we ask you to continue to pray for the ministry, continue to pray for Drina, continue to pray for everybody at Awakening, everybody at the DRMSH community, and everybody that is part of this ministry that we only see here. You see the tip of the iceberg, but it's a whole lot of people working on around the clock to make sure the Mike legacy continue. Thank you guys, and God bless.